We'll start with opening comments from Coach and then open up the questions.
Certainly the one thing you always want to do is hear your name called. And, of course, they have a different format. So I guess if you're in alphabetical order and you got the A's going, Arkansas shows up pretty early. So you kill that suspense. But the next suspense is knowing who you're going to play and where you're going to play. So, but you're in one of the greatest sporting events there is, and that's the NCAA tournament. And that's always, to me, that's going to be the given every year we play. That's the standard here at Arkansas, always has been, and now we get a chance to play for a national championship. So I know our guys are super, super excited about having a chance to play in this event and having a chance to play against an outstanding Butler team. I've had a chance to watch them kind of play a little bit. I hadn't really just studied them, but any team in this tournament is a very, very good basketball team. And the SEC, as we said all along, was probably one of the strongest it's been all year long. And it is really on display with getting 8 teams in the tournament. And I think you continue to put your brand out there. You continue to earn the right to be one of the better tournaments by what you do in the NCAA tournament. So we're not just going through the dance, and I don't want to be one-stepping and two-stepping. So our mindset is to go in and really go after the first game. The first game is the most important game, and we got to get prepared for a very, very good Butler basketball team.
All right, Spinner, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. Sorry, in the front.
Yeah, Mike, just how you feel about being the 7th seed based on your season, and obviously, Detroit's not the closest. Probably we're hoping to go a little closer. How do you feel about going to Detroit and being a 7th seed?
Well, as I said, have an opportunity to be in the tournament. You want to be in it. I thought we played one of the more competitive schedules you ever can play. That's been in place since I've been here, and I thought our guys performed really well. Won 23 games, and obviously, like most teams, they want to be a little closer toward home. But our fans can travel to Detroit. As a matter of fact, I got some family up there. One of my mom's sister lives up there, and I get a chance to hopefully visit her. But the seed in itself, of course, that's you always want a better seed. But at the end of the day, I think all teams, all 68 teams in this field are very, very good. And and you think about it, there's over 350 Division I schools, and now you're getting it down to now in a tournament format where there's 68 teams, the better teams that have played this year, and then there's only going to be one champion. So it's one of the greatest, like I said, one of the greatest tournaments because it's about surviving, advancing each and every weekend. And that first game is going to be the most important game that we're going to get prepared for.
Just coming off after playing 3 games in 3 days, kind of what's your format? Are you giving them the day off, or and then kind of how hard do you work them after that?
Yeah, well, we're certainly going to take a day off. I think when you saw us play in that last game, we had no legs. I think we had to dig real deep down. It was a gut check, in the second half to try to mount an attack against Tennessee. I thought they were much more fresher, much crisper. So quite naturally, with those late games that we had, but they have the day off, and we'll come back in tomorrow and start getting some stuff in on Butler. But more importantly, get back in the gym and try to get a little rhythm. But I practice right now no more than 40, 50 minutes, and that'll be continuing until we travel. We'll travel on Wednesday, headed up to Detroit, and got meetings on Thursday and play on Friday. And of course, the beauty of this here is the NCAA tournament is that you play a game. And you're fortunate to win, you get a day to in between before you come back. Let's say Friday, Sunday, and I think that's beneficial for our basketball team. And as I say, our teams are built for this time of the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing us continue to play some of our better basketball as we go into the next this season here. Everybody's 0-0. The records are 0-0, and you win or go home.
Mike, you got a lot of players back who played in the NCAA tournament last year, and you got a couple guys, in Trey and Anton. This will be their 3rd tournament. How big is that experience? How can that benefit y'all?
I think these guys got to draw on those experiences. I think, because you can get, for some young guys getting here, you can get overwhelmed. I thought even as we went to the SEC tournament, I thought we had some guys out there had the jitters or the nerves going. But I think having some guys who've been through it, especially guys that are playing, that have been instrumental, that I think they can help these guys from a standpoint of just being on an even keel. And I think the experience that Barford got last year was big. Adriel Bailey got some experience in it. Daryl Macon. If you think about those guys, Cook, they had a chance to play. So hopefully it'll be in place and have them understand the sense of urgency. Every loose ball, every rebound, every assist, every pass that leads to an assist, every deflection. It's very, very important. Every basket, every free throw. So I think those guys understand that, and as you go into this tournament.
Let's go to the right top.
You said you don't want to go stepping or two-stepping, and I think Daryl and Jalen kind of said the same thing about how hungry they are
listen
for a
to
run.
me, I guess they listen, but I say that in the sense of it's one thing to have an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament, and a lot of teams they're just happy to get there. I'm not in that mode. I've had opportunity to sit on the stage on a national championship team as an assistant head coach, but even as a head coach, almost a bucket here or a play here from going to a Final Four. So that is my goal, is to have an opportunity to win a championship. And so, but I understand that the things that you only can control, the game's right in front of you. But that's how I see it, and I like to win.
Kind of piggybacking off Bob's question, what do you do for these freshmen, these kids that a year ago were playing in their high school gym? How do you get them ready for, like you said, the biggest stage in all of sports?
I think all year long we've been getting them prepared. I mean, if you think about the schedule that we had, right off the bat, you're playing a Bucknell team. Well, guess where Bucknell is? Right in the tournament. Then you go right into conference play. Your first game is against Tennessee. Tennessee just beat us in the SEC tournament. that's they're one of, I think, a top 4. I don't know what seed they were, 3, 4 seed. I don't know what it is. 5 seed, 3 seed. Yeah. But when you think about the teams in our league, so every night you're playing against NCAA caliber basketball team, whether it be at home, on the road, the PK80, and I think the beauty of it is, and I don't think people get it, those guys played. They played meaningful minutes. It wasn't like it was just mop up time. Darius has played some quality minutes, and I think we're seeing him starting to really help our basketball team. Daniel, it got to the point where I had to start him. So when you say how do you prepare him, and then you're going to have a chance to play in the SEC tournament. To me, those kind of settings, hopefully, can get our guys more geared in terms of how they got to play, at the level they got to play. I think it's all about the energy level you got to play at. I think the mental toughness you got to bring, the physicalness that you got to play with, the aggressiveness. Let's say for a guy like Daniel, people are going to really try to push him around. Well, he didn't got pushed around a little bit this year. Now it's time for him hopefully to start pushing back and using his athletic ability, using his length. But like I said, I trust those guys when I put them out there, because I think the season has prepared them for this time. This is their time too.
What do you feel the SEC tournament did for your bench as far as just solidifying that even more?
I think those guys they were very instrumental, I think, in both wins. The win against South Carolina, I thought they were very, very big. And it's just, and a lot of people look at the scoring part of it, and to me that's even more so like the gravy part of it, when guys can score 10 or 9 or 8 points. But when you talk about rebound the basketball, Orlando Cook, I thought defensively he was probably as good as anybody at that forward position for us in the SEC tournament. Darius Hall, I thought Darius probably had one of the better tournaments of some of the guys on our basketball team, offensively, defensively, just playing with that edge. And that's what you got to play with this time of year, that edge. So I thought our bench got better. And of course in the last game, I thought the legs weren't there, but I thought even that, with that being said, those guys dug real deep to try to mount an attack against a Tennessee team that was really, really hot in that first half. So I thought our bench is continued to be I think there's going to be a difference in what takes place in the Butler game, how well our bench plays.
A few more.
Yeah. Mike, you're talking about the schedule. By my count, you guys played 11 tournament teams, 8 and 8. So 16 games, almost half your games were against tournament teams, and you went 8 and 8. So obviously held your own. How do you feel about that in terms of getting your tournament ready?
I think it was tested. I thought it tested us. I thought that schedule tested us early and often, Bob. And I think even as we went into the SEC play. And that's why you can see how competitive our league was. You got 8 teams that are in the NCAA tournament, and it could have possibly been 9. You think about Mississippi State, very good basketball team. The team that swept was LSU, and they're probably playing postseason. So most of those teams will be playing in postseason play. But I thought it prepared us. I really did.
Last one, Jason.
I know you do a lot of scouting, but looking at their stats, they average 79 points a game, so they may play kind of the tempo that you want to play. How nice will that be if it's kind of an up and down game like you like?
Well, I just think in the NCAA tournament, I think you leave it all out there now. I mean, you leave everything out there, and Butler's a very, very good basketball team. You got multiple guys that can score. Their bigs can step out and shoot the basketball. Defensively, they do a really good job of really contesting 3-point shots. They rebound the basketball well. Fundamentally, they do it. They do a lot of great things. So it's like I said, it's a team. Every team in this tournament is really, really good. But more importantly, I'm worried about what we do. And obviously, we love the up tempo. And so, for the fans, you get 2 teams that like to score. Then I think the fans are the winner.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay.